very good performance, but it's 1 of 46.
Yeah, I think it is. I think there's no doubt about it that don't underestimate how difficult today was in terms of a start. We've come up against a side who, I said to you on Thursday or Friday whenever we spoke that I expect them to finish in the top 2 or 3, and my opinion's not changed. We knew it was going to be difficult, but I thought we managed the game really well. We'd done our work, we knew what was expected. Alex has had to make 3 or 4 really key saves for us, but they were from areas and a distance that I'd expect him to make them. I think the double save was the real big one, and it's shown his class. But we knew that that from range, from 22, 23 yards, they're more than capable of scoring goals with the quality they've got in middle of the park. So yeah, it was a tough start, but at the same time there was so many good things that come out of the game for us.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, I looked at the stats when I came down. 62% possession for Oxford, but it was all in front of you, and they weren't getting beyond your fullbacks really.
No, they weren't, and we said that before the game. I said, look, possession doesn't win you a game of football, and we knew that they would have more than that today. They have lots and lots of possession in the middle third of the pitch, and that's a key thing for us. It's one of them where recognising when we keep the ball and when we look to try and score goals, and we've worked really hard during pre-season. I think some of the games that we've had have been good because it allowed us to do what we needed to do, and I think today was a good example of the players being really organised, committed to the roles, and seeing the job through.
It felt like even a step on from the last 2 games, and the speed of moving the ball around the opposition, the edge of the opposition penalty area and getting in behind was really noticeable today.
It was, and I think in the first half we obviously punished them the ones we should have punished them more, definitely. We set traps from in the middle of the park, and certainly did that more in the first half than we did in the second half. But again, even in that second half, there's loads of things that we can do better when we get into 3v2 positions. So it's great that we've kept a clean sheet. It's great that obviously we scored a couple of goals in the game, and it's a platform to use going forward.
Yeah, and in a way both goals, I think there was a similarity. It was about the delivery on both of them, that obviously they do well to head them in, but the delivery for both are excellent.
It was, yeah. Obviously the first one more of a counter-attack type scenario, but the delivery from George and the free kick was good. And I think I spoke about when we signed him, Adam, he scored a few goals for Hibs, and we know he's capable of doing that. I did challenge him the first time I met him via Zoom. I did challenge him. I said he didn't score enough goals for the areas and the positions that he gets into, and he certainly did it today.
As you said, defensively, your centre halves have had to at times work hard today, and you mentioned Adam made some really important clearances, and they performed well as a whole, and TJ not just defensively, and of course your young full-back. I feel like I'm talking about your whole team, but it was a team performance today, and nice for Sean, for example, to come off at the end and get a round of applause for a debut at 17 in a month.
Absolutely, yeah, and he felt he deserved it. He's one of them where sometimes he has to temper that aggression that he's got, but not too much. Not too much. Thought it was a little harsh him getting booked coming off the field. Didn't see that myself, but yeah, he did great. It was a team performance. There was so many good things. I think George Grant sitting in the middle of the park as well did a good job for us, and it was one of them type of performances that you need, because you need something to build on, and I think we've done that today.
The red card, I mean, we saw the replay, it looked like a pretty ugly challenge, but very out of keeping with the game, but it ended an unbelievable run from Harry.
Yeah, it did. There was probably 2 or 3 times as well where we wanted him to slip Callum in, and sure everyone else in the stands wanted him to do it as well, but I think he is that type of player for us, Harry. Do you know what I mean? He's made an assist with the first one. We spoke about it over the last couple of days with the staff about who to play, in them 3 positions up top, and I think it was pretty clear and unanimous that Harry was going to get the shirt, just because we knew he could carry the ball up the pitch for us, and he's got that physicality what he gave us today.
I mean, I've seen Harry for 4 or 5 years. For me, he's a player that has matured, because I think a few times, he's taken a bit longer over a cross, or a bit longer, only split seconds, but maybe he'd have been a bit more impetuous a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, well, we worked hard with him, there's no doubt about it. A lot of the time when I first come, he was constantly running away from the ball, and not really wanting to get involved in the build-up. All of a sudden now we've got him rolling in off the line, looking to play with the strikers, which is good. He got into some really good positions in possession today, but probably more importantly out of possession, because he knows what the role he's got to do for the team.
All in all, though, an excellent first week, really terrific, and well, we all know the downside of the first week. There hasn't sadly been many supporters in here. They've been all at home and we're getting loads of comments from them, but being able to be here and support you.
Yeah, and I think I said it earlier, and definitely over the last couple of days, I genuinely believe that it's one of them scenarios where we suffer more than most. I think, you know, when you think about, we've got a stadium that holds 10,000 people and we're averaging pretty much 9,000 every home game. That's going to have an effect. So for the players to deal with that, there's plenty of teams in this league who, you know, they've got a stadium, say 10,000, 12,000, and only get 2 or 3, maybe 4,000. You know, it's not going to really affect them that much. But the way that we dealt with not having the fans here today has been good, because let's face it, with 9,000, 10,000 roaring us on in that last 20 minutes, is only going to keep us on the front foot rather than the back foot.